Live from clickorlando.com, News 6 Plus, and WKMG. We're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6:30 p.m.
Now at 6:30, 30 minutes until polls close and the results for Florida state primary start to come in. Our News 6 political expert will break down the biggest races. But first, we're also just 30 minutes away from the next Lake Mary Little League All-Star Game. Good evening. This is News 6 at 6:30, getting results. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Yeah, glad you're with us. I'm Matt Austin in for Justin tonight. He's actually on assignment in Williamsport, counting down to the next big game, which is a must-win for the Little Leaguers. They have to leave everything on the field in order to move forward in the Little League World Series. The team playing from behind after a tough loss last night, but tonight at 7, they get another crack at it. Try to turn things around. News 6 anchor Justin Warmoth is there live as the team is gearing up to play. So we made a little bit of a mistake the last game.
Oh, no.
We had this tradition where Justin was coming down the famous hill there at Lamity Field.
Yep.
He didn't do it last time.
This is concerning.
We're going to fix this tonight, aren't we, Justin?
Oh, boy.
We are, Matt, and you might have to permanently fill in for Justin Warmoth at 6:30, depending on the outcome of this second attempt, because we saw what happened last time. It didn't go great, but I have some newfound confidence from all of these friends I've just made. What's the key here to get down there safely and smoothly?
Don't fall off.
Well, great sound advice there.
Wow.
Do you have anything else for me?
No, just don't fall off.
Just don't fall off.
Yeah,
But
that's
give me
it.
some sort of tip. How do I stay on the board?
Hold on really
By not
tight.
falling off.
Save it.
Okay, so there you go.
I know. Stay balanced. Hold on to the side of your cardboard.
Okay, hold on to the side of the cardboard. Hard to do when I'm holding a microphone,
Yeah.
but are you guys ready to go?
Tip.
Yeah.
All right, what are the rules? You guys, I told you the rules. Tell me the rules.
Don't make you look bad.
There you go. That's the only rule. Don't make me look bad.
That's right. Hey,
And
Justin's
yes,
the only one
if
having to
I
do this
fall,
in skinny
everyone
jeans.
has to fall.
All right.
All right. Hey, all right, here we go. Oh, my
here we
gosh.
go.
Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Come on. Come on, get some
Go, go, go,
momentum,
go, go,
J-Dubs.
go, 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 go,
Hey, it's,
go.
oh, there's a tumble.
Casualty.
Oh, turn 4.
Down
There, look at him.
the red shirt.
Wow, it's chaos.
How,
Pandemonium.
is everyone good? Everyone's good. Okay. Now, you guys, how did I do?
Good.
That went so much better than I expected. Thank you, all my friends. I'm like the Pied Piper here, guys.
You got some new lifelong friends.
Oh, who
there.
do I think is going to win this game? They're interviewing me now. I think that Lake Mary, Florida is going to win this game.
Right answer.
Yes.
Right
I did not pay
answer.
these boys. They're just so jacked up. They're jacked up to be in like the best place on earth for kids. It's so great. I mean, as you can see, everyone's just having a great time. Everyone's smiling. And tonight's game, yes, getting closer to first pitch action for Lake Mary against Staten Island, New York. Game time 7 o'clock. It's a big game. If they win, they move on. If they lose, their time here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania comes to an end. And by proxy, our time in Williamsport comes to an end. And I want to do that a couple more times because that was a lot better than the last time, guys.
Yeah, that was good. The balance was better.
I wasn't nervous this time. I wasn't. Justin, I do have a quick question before we let you go. You know, they're saying it's win. You
Yeah.
got it. They got to pull it through tonight, right? But regardless, win or lose, these kids have made lifelong friends, and you know this from your experience. Like you're still friends with some of the guys that you played with, right?
Yeah, no, I am friends. Some of my best friends in life I made when I was 5 years old on a baseball diamond, and that's what it's all about, right? Is that the best part about playing baseball, guys? I'm sure all you guys play baseball. It's about having fun, right? It's about having fun and having fun with your friends. So yes, what's up, buddy? Oh, he wants to show this off to you, Ginger.
Let me see.
Look,
What's
Whoa.
happening?
that's what the hill can
Oh,
do.
yeah, that's a.
That's
Did
what
that
the
just
hill
happen?
can do.
Oof. Man.
No, that's a prior wound.
Oh, okay. All right.
But
Okay.
News 6
I'll
will
tell you
not
what,
be
it's
held
gonna be-
responsible
That's a legal
for
disclaimer
anything
right
happening to
there.
these children.
no.
Just like to say.
That was awesome, Justin.
All right.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff. Man, if I tumbled the way those kids tumbled,
Oh.
feet overhead,
My whole face would be a bruise.
I'd be in the hospital for sure. All right, let's get your pinpoint weather. We've got Jonathan Kegas over here.
Yeah, guys, just a couple of showers left. Oh, we were talking even just 5-10 minutes ago. We had a few lightning strikes on the western side of Brevard County in West Melbourne coming into downtown Melbourne. Most of that now falling apart, and this will continue to fizzle out as we move over the next hour or so. Again, Miko, we're on the drier side now. These very, very light showers are slowly moving in from the south and west. Yeehaw Junction, we do have one lightning strike there. It's right over the W there, just on top of the turnpike. Couple of light showers, again, going to continue for the next 20 to 30 minutes or so. We'll turn on the laps here to kind of give you a better idea on where this is rolling. And you see just slowly pushing from northwest off to the south and east. So again, Miko, heads up, we're dry now, but that is going to change with a few very, very light showers. Most of the rock and stuff is done for this evening. We're going to talk about rain coming back into the picture again tomorrow. Even higher opportunity for rain for Thursday into Friday. We're going to break all that down for you in your 7-day forecast, guys, in about 10 minutes.
All right, Jonathan Kagas, thank you. We'll check back in with you then. Turning now to a local city's call for safety on the road where a hit-and-run driver hit a 13-year-old riding a bike. Now, thankfully, he was okay.
Yeah, thankfully. It's an issue we have followed from the very beginning, and our reporting got results. 2 weeks after that hit and run, the city of Ocoee installed a crosswalk where it all happened. But leaders think there is still more that could be done. News 6's Catherine Silver tells us what's next for the...
This is what the intersection of Adair Street and Worst Road looks like now. There's no stop sign that forces cars going down Worst to come to a complete stop no matter what. But that will be changing soon. Here's the plan. We got this staff report. The city wants to install more stop signs and stop bars to make cars stop in all directions. They looked at several factors: the number of cars that use these roads, the risk for pedestrians, and past crashes. That's where this traffic study comes in. There were 8 crashes here in a 3-year period. In 5 of those, an always stop could have helped. That includes one crash where a boy was hit on his bike. He walked away with a scraped elbow and some soreness.
To know that that's your child on that video, it's heartbreaking.
His mother told us back in 2022 that she wanted changes.
I would like to see a 3-way stop. I actually would like to see a pedestrian crosswalk with the signals and all that.
That's when the city added this pedestrian crossing. They say it made this intersection safer, but adding stop signs here on Worst will get even more results. And there's more safety improvements in the works. The city also plans to make this intersection an all-way stop at Orlando Avenue and Montgomery Road. I'm told the money is already in the budget. All they need is approval from the city commission, and it's on the agenda for tonight. In Ocoee, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
Thank you, Catherine. And speaking of growing areas, a lively battle over which industry is more important to Brevard County is set to take place tomorrow morning.
Yeah, city and state leaders will discuss whether new cruise terminals or expanded port capacity takes priority at Port Canaveral.
So let's take a live look over the port right now. Earlier this month, the state warned leaders at Port Canaveral moving forward with dock plans would hurt the space industry. You can see those clouds out there, big old ship in the way. So here's what the issue is. If the port continues to favor cruise ships when planning port expansions, the space industry says it's not going to have enough room to continue expanding because the port houses both the space and cruise industries. An agreement needs to be made that gives enough room for both to expand at the port. Now, port officials have said they'll work with the state to try to come up with a solution here. The state has threatened to cut the port's funding. The meeting is at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll bring you the latest when it happens.
In your health headlines tonight, a multi-million-dollar donation is advancing groundbreaking cancer research at a hospital in Lake Nona. Scientists at Nemours Children's Health are pioneering the use of the Zika virus to treat different forms of cancers. Now today, the hospital announced its largest ever donation to a single research project. The Pass It On to Kids Foundation is giving $7 million that will be used to advance research that harnesses the Zika virus to target and eradicate a type of tumor that occurs in young children. Earlier this year, Dr. Tamara Westmoreland published a study that showed tumors in mice shrank or were eliminated when injected with the Zika virus. The study suggested the virus could someday serve as an effective cancer therapy.
Zika virus essentially enters the tumor and kills the cells, and we followed them over time to ensure there was no recurrence. What we are hoping to see is to translate the mouse work that we're doing now into a phase 1 clinical trial.
On top of the donation for research, the foundation is also allocating $1 million for the music therapy program at Nemours. It gives families and kids a nonverbal way to communicate emotions, concerns, and anxieties. That is fantastic all around. Yeah, it really is. Well, the time to vote in Florida's primary is almost over, and there are many key races on the ballot, all up in the air.
And these races could impact your day-to-day life. Coming up, we're going to talk to our News 6 political expert and all-around good guy, breaking down what you need to know. That will be coming up. And we're talking about that rare supermoon. Get a look at that. We've got all sorts of sightings, the view of last night's supermoon here at home, and when you could have the chance to witness it again.
You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We're getting results in Flagler Beach, Altamont Springs, and all of Central Florida. We'll be right back. Well, time is ticking down for the chance to vote in today's primary. The polls close shortly here at 7 o'clock, meaning we're counting down until we know the results of some of Florida's biggest races. And there is a lot to cover tonight.
Yeah, so we brought in our News 6 political analyst. His name's Jim Clark. He's that good-looking guy over there. Jim, there are a lot of big races getting a ton of public attention right now, but one of the big ones we want to talk about first is this race for District 15 in the Florida Senate. The primary is pitting incumbent State Senator Geraldine Thompson against former State Senator Randolph Bracey. The sparks have been flying. Can you break down what's been happening in the campaign so far?
Yeah, this is a nasty race.
Yeah.
Bracey was the state senator back in the day. Then he was term limited, and he ran for Congress and lost. And then Geraldine Thompson took over, and now Bracey is back to challenge her. And this has been a gloves off. In fact, Bracey's sister endorsed Geraldine Thompson, which is...
Oh, wow.
You don't see that often.
Wouldn't you hope your brothers and sisters...
I would hope so. My
There's probably
goodness.
one or two in there who would go against
There's
her.
some bad blood in there for sure. But there's a question they were trying to say the one doesn't live in the district they're trying to represent. What is that about?
Yeah, Bracey was contending that she did not live in the district. Again, these charges hurling back and forth, questions about Bracey's money source, and so it has been nasty, and in about 30 minutes, we'll know the answer.
My good. Okay, so there's another big race in Osceola County to talk about, Jim, and it's for the top cop. 4 candidates are challenging the incumbent Sheriff Marcos Lopez here. How is this race shaping up? Because he's had some issues.
Boy, has he had some issues, whether it's a shooting at the Target store or questions about murders and pictures.
Pictures on the Instagram,
And so we're going to find out tonight if he is going to be unseated. Remember, he is in his first term, and so there's been a great deal of criticism. But in a multi-candidate race, anything can happen.
Seems like a lot of people see an in there, so they're taking advantage of that.
Yes, and of course, Osceola County is booming with a
lot of changes.
A lot of changes, a very diverse population, and so it is almost impossible to predict which way it'll go there.
All right, Jim Clark, you're going to be with us
Don't go
for
far.
the duration of the
You go
night.
get a taco.
He was surprised that he was
All right,
standing
come
tonight.
back.
We're going to give you a chair probably in the next half hour or so.
Unless
We're gonna
things
all
get
sit down.
real crazy.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
All right, so how did you cast your ballot today? Not who you voted for, but how did you actually do it? You can select in person early, by mail, or today on Election Day. So far, the majority of you say you voted by mail. You can also go to clickorlando.com/react and send in your response to our poll that way. Remember, they close in less than 15 minutes at 7 o'clock.
All right, let's take a live look over downtown Orlando. This is our Light Orlando Delivering Hope camera. I mean, man, that just looks like a really pretty view out there. We really get to live here, Ginger? How's that work?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. I got here as fast as I could.
I know, me too. I got back.
You were born
I was
here.
born here. I made the mistake of leaving, and then I came back. Let's get you over to Jonathan Kagas for a look at today's weather, because not everybody looks like this right now, Jonathan.
No, we do not. And certainly earlier this afternoon, it was wet and gray and all of the above there. So it's certainly the two sides of Florida. We still have a couple of showers hanging on. The lightning has really started to end for us in Brevard County, parts of Osceola County, as well as we are watching this main broken line of light showers, if you will, pushing through parts of Yeehaw Junction, closing in on Micco. Again, everything is relatively light right now. And everywhere else, we are on the drier side. We'll take you back up into the I-75 corridor, watching just a couple of itty-bitty downpours trying to get going closer to Micanopy. That's drifting closer to the Ocala National Forest over the next hour or so. And by and large, once we get beyond 7:30, most of us are going to be on the drier side. There is 10 o'clock tonight, maybe a stray sprinkle hanging on in parts of Brevard County right along the coast. Same deal for us into Palm Coast as we are watching these broken showers start to arrive along a cold front that is again stalled in North Florida. There's 7 o'clock tomorrow. Watch close to that pinpoint weather logo where you saw that QR code. We can download that free pinpoint weather app, by the way. The storms kind of erupt from southwest to northeast, and that is because we have that flow right off of the Gulf of Mexico. There's 7 o'clock on your Wednesday evening, still doing a little bit of dodging, but just like today, the higher opportunity for rain will be for the first half of the day. 6, 7 o'clock on your Thursday morning, scattered thunderstorms in the mix as well. So starting early again. Beautiful shot we just took a look at, 81 degrees at the airport. That's a live look with our Light Orlando Delivering Hope Skycam in downtown Orlando. The breeze out of the south-southwest at about 15 miles an hour. 91 in Claremont, 91 in Leesburg. We're hanging around 91 degrees in Daytona Beach. Look at where the rain was. Mid-70s in Melbourne. In Micco, we're at 79 in Kissimmee. Now here's a look at your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
We're back to the mid-90s again tomorrow. Temperature is going to surge into the mid-93 degrees in Wildwood, 92 in Claremont, 94 for us in Orlando. We're back to 90 at the Cape with those thunderstorms in the mix. All right, 12 minutes away from first pitch in Williamsport. The weather looking pretty good. It is on the cooler side, mid-60s right now. And again, first pitch will be right at 65 degrees under those partly cloudy skies. Justin went down the hill again, so I made the mistake of keeping the 7-day icon on. They would have played on Thursday had they would have won last night. So we're hoping that they play again tomorrow. So we're putting it on the 7-day forecast. 60% shot for storms locally, guys. 70% on Thursday and Friday.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. ClickOrlando.com is Central Florida's #1 news site. We'll take a look at some of the top trending stories after the break.
Plus, a rare supermoon lights up the sky. We're going to show you the views, how you can see it next time when News 6 at 6:30 continues. Go nowhere. We'll be right back in just 2 minutes.
All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news site. That, of course, is clickorlando.com. The top story online. It has been why are we doing this? It's been a relatively quiet first half of the hurricane season for Central Florida. Matt, bring your head over here. Knock on wood, though. That could be quickly changing. We're actually ahead of schedule right now, but today marks the start of what's known as the mean season. News 6 meteorologist Jonathan Kagas digs into why we might see it start to ramp up again. I don't like talking about it. I don't like jinxing it. It's been fine. We'll take it and let's move on.
Yeah. No, I'm not talking about it anymore.
No, okay.
Even though it says talk about it in the teleprompter.
We're done.
We're out.
Here are some of the other top stories trending right now online. After a slowdown in March, illegal immigration in Florida has surged. We're looking at how it's impacting your wallet. And how about 4 tickets to Disney on Ice? How's that sound? You can enter to win as many times as you'd like every day between now and 11:30 next Monday night. You have to be a News 6 insider, though, to enter. If you're not being an insider, it is free to sign up, so do it right now.
It's an optical illusion. They sometimes come in clusters, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah, it's a rare but beautiful sight in the sky. In fact, it's been an exciting month for stargazers out there with the most recent sight, a supermoon taking over the sky. And last night you could see it all across the world.
Yeah, it was beautiful too. Now, what's a supermoon, you might be asking? According to NASA, it's when the moon is at or near its closest point to Earth at the same time as it is full, meaning it just looks bigger. But what made this supermoon extra special, it's also what's called a blue moon, not because of its color, but because of when it falls on the calendar. It is the 3rd full moon in an astronomical season, and the views across the globe were just breathtaking. You're seeing some of them right now. Here's a look at a supermoon last night. This was over London.
I was hoping you were going to sing that, Blue Moon.
Or Supermoon.
That doesn't work as well. We also got a pretty good look at the supermoon here at home. Look at these pictures. Several of our Pin-It users went after it. The chance to see and send us some photos. Patrick posted this view over Melbourne Beach with the supermoon reflecting off the water there. It's amazing. We've also got a close-up from one of our viewers out of Tavares. How do you get that close? This was how the moon looked last night. And it did stick around this morning. Here's a glimpse of the moon out of Lake Marion in Kenansville. NASA officials say the moon will appear full through early tomorrow, if you're interested.
Oh, we have another chance tonight then.
Yeah, I mean, if you took some great photos of the moon, we would love to see them. You can scan the QR code on your screen to add them to our Pin It page on clickorlando.com. And just like you just saw, you might see them on TV.
Do you think the moon impacts the way people behave? Like you think people are a little strange?
Oh, when there's a full moon, I am ready for a wild night in the newsroom. Don't you feel that way?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why it is. If you talk to an ambulance worker or something, they say the same thing. All right, we will have a full moon for the next couple of days. It's going to be looking like it did last night, but if you missed it, NASA says it's going to be 3 more supermoons, with the next coming on September 17th.
All right, thank you so much for watching News 6 at 6:30. You
I
can
saw
stream
a
News
friend
6
of mine
online
wants to do-
anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
And remember, we break news at clickorlando.com. We'll see you tonight on air covering the elections in just minutes.
Yes, this is a mic check. This is Laverne McGee. I'm at the polling station right now. This is
Yes, one.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic.
From News 6 and ClickOrlando.com, this is Results 2024, primary day in Florida. Tonight, voters will decide who will run our elections in the future.
Both political parties are suspicious of the other one.
A sheriff under fire for his handling of a missing child case faces the voters.
I believe that I got a mandate from God to run.
A heated race for the state Senate.
The polls show me winning.
Plus, results in U.S. House races. And one statewide race will set up a head-to-head battle for a Florida Senate seat. All the polls have just closed here in Central Florida. They will close at 8 o'clock in the Panhandle. Thank you so much for joining us for this special coverage of the primary election. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Glad to have you with us tonight. I'm Matt Austin. The ballot counting process has officially begun. Did you know in some counties you can actually watch the counting happen? Let's take a live look actually at ballot processing in Orange and Seminole counties. There are cameras live streaming the entire process.
Yeah. These two counties have really pioneered this type of transparency. The goal is to calm any concerns and dispel any myths about the vote counting process. We'll be checking in on these cameras periodically throughout this show. And tonight we have team coverage. News 6 crews are fanned out across the area covering the races that could impact you and your family's day-to-day life. Eric Von Anken is live in Osceola County covering the Democratic primary race for sheriff.
Laverne McGee is in Orange County where 3 commission seats are up for grabs.
And Treasurer Roberts is covering the highly contentious race for Florida's District 15 Senate seat. This universal primary is pitting incumbent State Senator Geraldine Thompson against former State Senator Randolph Bracey. And boy, have the sparks been flying in this one. We're still waiting for those numbers to start coming in.
Meantime, News 6's Treasurer Roberts has been following this race closely since it started. She joins us now live from Geraldine Thompson's watch party. How's the feeling out there, Treasurer?
Yeah, well, Senator Geraldine Thompson is feeling confident and positive. She's right behind those doors at CB Bistro with her supporters, just watching the polls. I do want to add that we did ask Randolph Bracey if we could come to his event as well, and he told us that it was private. Now, this has been a very heated race. The two have thrown accusations at each other, specifically over their primary addresses. Thompson says her opponent lives in Lake County, while he claims she calls Windermere home. Bracey even threatened to file a lawsuit. I did ask him during a one-on-one interview why he never filed. He said it wasn't worth it because at the end of the day, it is up to the Senate to make that decision. One shock during the campaign, though, is that Bracey's sister, Representative LaVon Bracey Davis, endorsed his opponent. Bracey told me that that was painful. But outside of all of the drama, voters just want whoever represents them to get things done. Some of their immediate concerns are housing prices, property insurance, and infrastructure. I asked Thompson about that. And if you are reelected, can you tell me, will you be committed to addressing the issues that your constituents think are super important?
Oh, absolutely. I would not continue to do this work if I were not committed to serving the constituents. And so I want to go back to deal with the property insurance issue. I want to look at education. I'm a former educator. I'm very concerned about books being banned and the distortion of African American history. So those are some of the things that are going to be priorities for me when I go back to the Florida Senate.
We'll be out here watching and waiting for those results. You can find out who takes that seat on our website at clickorlando.com. In Orlando, Treasurer Roberts getting results, News 6.
All right, Treasurer, thank you.
Turning now to Orange County, where not one, not two, but three of the county's 6 commission seats are up for grabs. They're in Districts 1 in the orange district there. District 3 is in the purple. And District 5 is right there in the red. You're guaranteed to get a brand new commissioner. Whoever wins will replace outgoing Commissioner Emily Bonilla. A quick rundown of the candidates in District 5, including Joy Goff-Marcial, Steve Leary, Joel Montilla, and Kelly Semrad. Now in District 3, there are at least 2 familiar names. Incumbent Commissioner Myra Uribe will face off against political newcomer Gus Martinez and Linda Stewart, who we know because she represents Orange County in the Florida Senate and has since 2016. Then, in District 1, we have Nicole Wilson, who will have to beat out Austin Arthur and Stephen Davis to try to win a second term. News 6's Laverne McGee is covering these races. She's live at a polling station in District 1 for us tonight. Laverne?
That's right. I'm actually here in southwest Orange County. This is actually the Windermere area. You can take a look at the polling station behind me. Just closed, of course. We're near Horizon West. That's where all the growth is happening. The candidates, one of them was just out here just moments ago, waving right up to the bitter end. People were out here in the rain and shine to cast their ballot. There's massive growth happening in parts of Orange County and people having concerns about traffic and overcrowded schools. Some people are concerned about preserving rural areas and say there are too many subdivisions being built, but others say it's important for developers to keep building so there are enough homes for people. One of the keys, of course, to winning this race is getting enough people out to vote. We know the primary does not draw as many people as the general election. And I spoke with some young people who say voting is important, especially to their generation.
I feel like everything's the future. Everything is has to do something with the youth. So I feel like voting now, everybody should get their vote in. You feel me? Take advantage of the age. Take advantage as soon as you turn 18, go cast.
And once again, the polls just closed. You can see things wrapping up here behind me as we, of course, wait anxiously to find out who will win these very important commissioner seats. Reporting live in Orange County, Laverne McGee, getting results, News 6.
All right, we're interested to see when those numbers come in any moment now. Laverne, thank you very much.
Turning now to the Democratic primary for sheriff in Osceola County. 4 candidates are challenging the incumbent Sheriff Marcos Lopez for the role of top cop. Whoever wins will face off against Republican candidate Donnie Martinez in November.
News 6's Eric Von Anken joins us live now from Martin's Barbecue in Kissimmee for an update on this race. Eric?
And Matt, I think I said this earlier, this is the first time I can remember in the history of covering elections in 21 years here at News 6 that all 5 candidates for this race work or worked for the agency which they're trying to run. Like you said, the incumbent here is Sheriff Marcos Lopez, but he's being challenged by 4 Democrats who worked for him. So they're trying to take their boss's job. Marcos Lopez is expected to, at least according to what we're hearing here, take this race, but a lot of people are saying it's very close and it could go the other way or other ways because there are so many candidates here that say the same thing. This is a matter of transparency, and this is a matter of fixing things, changing things. They criticized Marcos Lopez for his handling of several situations, including, remember, the Target parking lot over the last several years. There was a showdown there. Several suspected shoplifters were trying to leave, encountered deputies who were in training. Deputies ended up shooting and killing one of those shoplifters, suspected shoplifters. 3 in all were shot. Well, one of the people running against the sheriff, so this was a former major at the time, Wiley Black, he was fired right after that incident. So he's running to replace Marcos Lopez. Sheriff Russ Gibson is the one that Lopez beat in 2020, quite narrowly. There's also a 5th candidate, Amaryllis Rivera. She used to work for the sheriff's office. She would be the first Latina to try and get this top cop job. We drove around the county today, all over Osceola County, trying to catch up with the top 3. So that's Gibson, that's Wiley Black, and of course the sheriff himself. Here's what they told me. Sheriff, you are the current sheriff. You're also the incumbent in this race, and your 4 challengers happen to be former sheriff's office employees. One happens to be a former sheriff, Sheriff Gibson, of course. I'd love, first of all, to know your thoughts on that.
Well, you know, politics drives the best out of people, and sometimes when you take office, a lot of people don't like to change. Obviously, the former sheriff was beat by us, and then one of the employees wasn't too happy with the way the department was running. Another one stepped down due to other reasons.
Major Black.
Yes.
Former Sheriff's Office Major Wiley Black. Right. Why are you running against your former boss?
I think we just have a different opinion as to transparency, experience, ethical leadership. And if my career ended today, I've had a great career. I've been blessed. I couldn't ask for a better career. But there's still a lot of people at the sheriff's office and in our community that's helped me have a great career because of them. We work together as a team. And some of the people still at the sheriff's office have 5 or 10 years left at the sheriff's office. And I'm not saying I'm all that, but they deserve somebody.
Former Sheriff Russ Gibson, you lost back in 2020 by just over 600 votes. You're trying again.
Absolutely, and losing by 600 votes in an election where 2 folks figuratively worked together to split the vote, I don't think that was the people of Osceola County saying they didn't want me here anymore. You know, we did some innovative things when I was the sheriff, and that job isn't done yet. My call to serve has not expired.
Sheriff Gibson is holding his watch party tonight at a nearby restaurant. This is where Sheriff Lopez's watch party is. The other 3 candidates tell me that they're going to be at home with family and friends, close family and friends, watching the results come in. Sheriff Lopez has not shown up here yet, but we're expecting him. He told me he'd be here a little after 7 o'clock, so any minute. Again, we'll be here with Sheriff Lopez as those results come in. For now, live in Osceola County, Eric Von Eycken getting results, News 6.
Eric, thank you for the update. We'll check back in with you in a bit.
Tonight, the role of Supervisor of Election is up for grabs in at least 3 Central Florida counties. Now, this is the person who will oversee the office that sends out vote-by-mail ballots, registers people to vote, and in some counties, they're behind these brand new live cameras that are streaming the ballot counting process tonight. So that is what you are looking at right there. This is a live look from Seminole County. So let's walk you through some of the candidates, starting in Brevard County. We have Tom Bobanek, and he is up for re-election. He is facing a Republican primary challenge by outgoing Brevard County Commissioner John Tobias. The winner will face a write-in candidate in November. In Seminole County, the Republican primary is putting the incumbent Supervisor of Elections against outgoing member of the Seminole County School Board, Amy Pennock. And over in Lake County, I should say, incumbent Alan Hayes will face off against Tom Vail. Both have been very critical of one another. News 6's Emily McLeod sat down with both of them late last week.
Normally, the original way you vote, you show up at the polling place, you identify yourself as a legitimate voter because you've already registered to vote, and you cast your ballot. Those things don't happen with mail balloting.
What's your response to some of those ideas that he has?
Again, about the kindest thing I can say is that he doesn't know what he's talking about. I could spend 10 minutes and tear down completely the absurd idea of hand counting the ballots.
All right, and just days ago, the race for Supervisor of Elections in Orange County was scrubbed from the August primary. 5 candidates were vying to replace Glenn Gilzine, but a judge disqualified one of those candidates from the ballot and pushed the election back to November.
All right, so News 6 political analyst Jim Clark joins us now at the desk. Jim, history professor at UCF, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm happy to be here.
Good to have you tonight. So kind of walk us through what's happening in Orange County right now.
Yeah, there were 5 candidates, and Helm, one of the 5, challenged another candidate, saying that the registration fee had come from the wrong banking account, which sounds like the ultimate pickiness, but it is a state law, and there was evidence of things had been doctored. And so the judge threw off the 5th candidate. The ballots had already been printed for today's election. People had already voted.
Yeah.
And so they said, let's kick it down the road until November. The problem is some of these candidates have already spent all their money. You know, they had raised money, and
now they've got to somehow get more money to go through November.
Or spend their own money and keep an election alive for 2 more months.
But explain why it had to be kicked down the road to November after one candidate was disqualified. Why couldn't they just go to the polls today?
Because there would still be 5 names on the ballot, and one of them would have been disqualified. You would have had people voting for somebody who shouldn't be on the ballot. People had already voted, early voting.
Sure.
And so people had voted for the 5th candidate. So it was just a mess.
And
so
people
all of that's going to be thrown
so
out.
those people who voted for in the early voting, that doesn't count
You won't see
anymore.
those results.
They have to go again in November.
That's exactly right.
What a complicated situation.
It really, who knew that this position, Supervisor of Elections, would be such a hotbed of activity?
You know, it's become almost a dirty term, hasn't it? I mean, you never even heard about the election supervisor.
Yes.
4
or
years
knew who
ago.
it was.
But exactly. But this year we had Bill Cowles take retirement right in the middle of the cycle after serving for decades. We had in Lake County, Alan Hayes is being challenged. And it doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or a Republican. People out there think you're phonying up the books. People are even, you know, it's what's going to be interesting tonight, Ginger, even the transparency. If people, if people are, look.
People are going to be watching those.
Look what she did. She moved that box.
It's an important position, but boy, it's a tough one.
They are under such pressure. And somebody like Alan Hayes, who has historically been one of the most respected in the state, I'm not sure why he keeps doing it. I think every week he gets a threat or a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
All right, Jim.
interesting. All right, Jim, thank you so much. Yeah, don't go far, bud.
Well, if you ran into any problems at your polling place today, the News 6 investigators want to hear about it. So give us a call at 407-521-1323, or you can email the investigators at WKMG.com. Still ahead, shakeups are likely within the leadership in your child's school district.
More than 40 candidates are running for positions on school boards across Central Florida's 9 counties. We're going to walk you through the big races coming up. You can also watch live results as they come in on our website, clickorlando.com.
Well, tonight, voters across Central Florida had the chance to pick who they want to lead their child's school district.
So more than 40 candidates are running for school board positions across Central Florida's 9 counties. Let's take a look at some of the results we're getting in Orange County. This is the District 4 race between Ann Douglas, Kyle Gowdy, and Jacob Petrosky. Right now, Gowdy and Douglas are basically tied at 35%. This is a tight little race here, about 42 votes separating Douglas from Gowdy at the moment. But this looks like it's early voting, so this certainly could
That's
change.
always the one that comes in first.
All right, District 6. This is Jenny Grieger and Stephanie Vanos. Right now, Vanos is in the lead with 71% of the vote.
And checking in on Seminole County school board races, their District 3 races between Stephanie Argello, Kelly Kritz, and Abby Sanchez. Right now, Sanchez is in the lead with 42% of the vote there. And on their other race is for the board District 4. Robin Dellinger and Carl Tipton are running in that one. Right now, Dellinger is in the lead with 60% of the vote.
Yeah, we'll keep tabs on all of these as the results come in. Those are just some of the school board races. We're watching them all right now. All 9 counties tonight. We'll have more results coming up later in the show.
Meantime, News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval really looked into these candidates and the issues driving their campaigns. He joins us now live from our newsroom. So, Eric, what did you find out?
Well, you know what? If you ask the majority of the candidates who are running for school board tonight, Ginger, they will overwhelmingly tell you that they want to improve school safety. That's what our investigation found. Now, there are 46 candidates in all running for local school board races tonight, and a good portion of them want to shore up local school budgets, retain teachers, and also give parents more of a say on what's happening in the classroom. Now, no matter what side of the coin you're on, the group Moms for Liberty, which started in Brevard County, has been working hard for the last 3 years to get their candidates elected to local school boards across the country. Now, what you're looking at here, this is video from a recent town hall that took place in Minneapolis. They've succeeded in the past getting candidates not only on the ballot, but elected to local school boards. But in the last election, their influence appeared to be weakening just a little bit. They're not getting as many candidates elected right now, and to help bolster that, they have created campaign kits for future candidates. Now, these kits include candidate handbooks, outlines for campaign plans, and also templates for mailers and advertising. I spoke to the co-founder about that.
There isn't a lot of money in school board races, so you don't have campaign managers who are like knocking down your door to run your campaign. So oftentimes it's, your brother, your sister, your friend, or your husband, or, it's who knows who it is that's helping you.
Now, a side note, ahead of tonight's election, we asked the group who they were endorsing for local school board races. They told us they had not endorsed anybody yet. Now, local school board races that have multiple people running, like the ones you saw just before you came to me, that means the top 2 vote getters will get those races and they will move on to a runoff in November. So lots to watch tonight, guys.
Yeah, a lot of people very interested in these races. Eric, so what are some of the other things these candidates were campaigning on?
Yeah, we combed those platforms of all of them. Many of them wanted to give more resources to special education classes, literacy projects. 3 of the candidates who are campaigning on reducing standardized testing, which has received a lot of attention over the last few years. I don't know how much influence they'd actually have over that, but it sounds good. I think a lot of parents would like that. A lot of teachers would like that.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, thank you. We'll see you again later on this evening.
You got it.
Next, the U.S. Senate and House primary races. Winners go to the general election and decide who controls Congress.
We already have some projected winners. We'll show you those coming up after the break. And if you ran into any problems at your polling place, the News 6 investigators like Eric, they want to hear about it. Call us at 407-521-1323 or just email theinvestigators@wkmg.com. Tonight, we're keeping a close eye on congressional races. The primary winners will go head-to-head in November's general election.
Yeah, that will decide who controls Congress. Right now in the U.S. Senate, Democrats have the majority, but just barely, 50 Democrats and 49 Republicans. And right now, one seat is vacant. That means Republicans just need to pick up one seat in November to control the chamber. If Donald Trump wins the White House, they'll need 2 seats to take control if Kamala Harris wins the White House. Incumbent Rick Scott is facing 2 challengers. And keep in mind, since this is a statewide race, the numbers from the Central Time Zone and the Panhandle will not start to come in until 8 o'clock our time. But you can see the results right there on your screen so far, 85% for Rick Scott.
Yeah, commanding lead with
not a surprise.
10% reporting right now, but definitely a big lead for him. In the Democratic side for U.S. Senate, we have Debbie Powell. She has 70% of the votes right now. This is with 22% reporting. Stanley Campbell in second place right now with 18%.
Now, Republicans already control the U.S. House, 220 to 212. Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says Democrats will target specific districts they think they can flip to get a majority. And several months ago, longtime Congressman Bill Posey announced that he's retiring, leaving that seat up for grabs. It has traditionally been a heavily Republican district. He represents the 8th district, that is Brevard County, and parts of Indian River County, including Titusville, Palm Bay, and Vero Beach. 3 Republicans want that seat, and we are ready to project a winner tonight with 72% of the votes. Mike Herodopoulos wins that seat with 54% of the precincts reporting now here just before 7:30. The winner will face a Democratic challenger this coming November. So let's take a look at House District 11. That's Lake County and parts of Marion, Sumter, Polk, and Orange counties, including the Villages, Claremont, and Ocoee. A heavily Republican district. Republican Congressman Daniel Webster is facing a challenge from the right. Webster in this race with 65% of the precincts reporting right now, 77% for Daniel Webster, the projected winner. So let's move on to District 3, another Republican stronghold that includes Marion County, much of the Nature Coast, and all the way up to the state line. That includes Ocala, Dunellen, Cedar Key, and Gainesville. Incumbent Kat Kamek faced challenger Alex Stevens in the Republican primary, and it appears that Kamek is the projected winner with just 7% of the votes winning. But look at the percentage there, 88% of the votes already, which means she will return to the House because there is not a Democratic primary challenger.
All right, let's talk about House District 6 now. That's Flagler and Putnam counties. Parts of Volusia, Marion, and Lake all wound in there as well. But here are the results. Incumbent Mike Waltz faced a challenge in the Republican primary from John Groh. We're ready to project. Michael Waltz has won this race with a commanding lead, 85%. Even though we're showing only 2% reporting, still projecting this race here.
U.S. House District 7, that's most of Volusia and Seminole counties, including New Smyrna Beach, Oak Hill, Sanford, and Oviedo. Incumbent Corey Mills has a challenge in the Republican primary from Mike Johnson. Mills, with 81% of the votes there, is the projected winner in this race. The winner will face a Democratic challenger in November. So here's a look at the numbers in that race right now. All right, U.S. House District 9, all of Osceola County and southern Orange County. That includes Celebration, Kissimmee, Hunters Creek, Lake Nona, and St. Cloud. Incumbent Congressman Darren Soto does not face a challenger in this Democratic primary. Soto will face off against a Republican challenger in the fall, though.
All right, when we come back, we are revisiting some of the key races and bringing you those results. We'll be right back. And if you ran into any problems today, want to reiterate, the News 6 investigators want to hear about it. Call us at 407-521-1323 or email theinvestigators@wkmg.com. It's primary election day in Florida. The polls in Central Florida closed at 7 o'clock. They close at 8 in the Panhandle. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Matt Austin.
And I'm Ginger Gadsden. We are following several key races that could impact Central Florida. The District 15 state Senate race is putting incumbent State Senator Geraldine Thompson against former State Senator Randolph Bracey. Leading up to today's election, Bracey and Thompson have traded blows over residency disputes.
Yeah, in Osceola County, we are watching the Democratic primary for sheriff in Osceola there. 4 candidates are challenging the incumbent sheriff, Marcos Lopez, for the role of top cop. Lopez is facing voters while under fire for his handling of a missing child case recently.
And there are also several supervisor of elections races happening, one in Brevard, one in Seminole, and one in Lake County. This is the person who oversees elections. So in each case, the candidate running for re-election still had to administer today's election.
And in Orange County, 3 of the county's 6 commission seats are up for grabs right now. They're in districts 1, 3, and in district 5. You're guaranteed to get a brand new commissioner. Whoever wins will replace outgoing commissioner Emily Bonilla. She had term limited out.
All right, so this is one we've been talking about, and we're going to begin with the universal primary for District 15. It is pitting incumbent State Senator Geraldine Thompson against former State Senator Randolph Bracey in what has become a contentious race for this seat. News 6's Treasure Roberts has been following this race closely. She joins us now live from Geraldine Thompson's watch party with the senator. Treasure.
Yeah, we're here at CB Bistro with Senator Geraldine Thompson. Thanks for having us here. How are you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling wonderful. When you look at vote by mail and you look at early voting, I have 61% of the votes that have been cast, and I'm expecting that trend to continue for Election Day. So I am feeling good.
And you're surrounded by some of your supporters as you all are watching the polls. I mean, do you feel like confident about the outcome of what this election will be tonight?
Well, I think given that we looked at turnout numbers and we have 57,000 Democrats that have already voted in Orange County, and that compares to 39,000 Republicans and 13,000 no party affiliates. And this is a very blue district. It's a universal primary, so everybody can vote. However, I'm expecting that number, the turnout number for Democrats, is going to bring good news for the Thompson campaign for Senate District 15.
And when you talk to voters in this district, what concerns do they tell you they have, and how will you go about making sure that you address those if you are reelected?
Well, obviously, they're still concerned about property insurance, and in many instances, property insurance premiums are higher than their mortgages. And so when I go back to the Florida Senate, I'm going to press for combined reporting, which will mean that insurance companies that are subsidiaries of larger companies won't be able to send the earnings out of the state and then claim insolvency and bankruptcy within the state. And with more competition, you're going to have lower rates. So I'm going to continue to work on that. And of course, I'm going to continue to work on the issue of education, and particularly how diverse people are depicted in textbooks, in the classroom, etc., and the whole notion that you can't discuss race in the classroom in a way that makes people feel uncomfortable, because I know that the truth is not always comfortable, but it's always the truth.
Great. Thank you so much,
You're
Senator.
welcome.
I do want to add that we did ask Randolph Bracey if we could come to his event. He did tell us that it was private. That's why we were not there today. We will continue to watch the polls, and we'll let you know which way the vote goes. You can find out on our website at clickorlando.com. Back to you guys.
All right, Treasure Roberts reporting live for us. Treasure, thank you. Checking in now on the Supervisor of Elections primary races going on in 3 of our Central Florida counties. First in Brevard, Tim Bobanek is up for re-election. He is facing a Republican primary challenge by outgoing Brevard County Commission John Tobiah. The winner will face a write-in candidate this November. And by the looks of it, I missed the screen. Can we go back to that screen?
Here we go.
Okay, there it is. So Tim Bobanek, 60% of the votes with 72% of the precincts reporting now. It looks like Tim Bobanek is on his way to a victory with 60% of the votes in.
All right, let's go to Seminole County. The Republican primary is putting the incumbent supervisor of elections against outgoing member of the Seminole County School Board. That is Amy Pinnock, who actually has a pretty big lead right now over Christopher Anderson, who was appointed by the governor. Amy Pinnock, 60%, and this is with 90% reporting. Seminole County Supervisor elections race shaping up right now.
Another contentious one. And over in Lake County, incumbent Alan Hayes is facing off against Tom Bale in a race that has also become pretty contentious here. But you can see that Alan Hayes, 68% of the vote with 100% of the precincts reporting at 7:39, 7:40 this evening. So he is obviously the projected winner in this case. Now turning now to the Democratic primary for sheriff in Osceola County. 4 candidates are challenging the incumbent Sheriff Marcos Lopez for the role of top cop. Whoever wins will face off against Republican candidate Donnie Martinez in November.
You can see Marcos Lopez with 38% of the vote at 60% precincts reporting right now with the lead of those 4 candidates. News 6's Eric Von Anken joins us live now from Martin's Barbecue in Kissimmee. Eric, they've got to be feeling pretty good about this right now.
They are, Matt, but so this is kind of interesting. They keep checking the Osceola County Election Supervisor's website, and this is what they keep seeing. The website from the Supervisor of Elections tonight has crashed. It has been down ever since 7 o'clock, so there are no results coming in through this means, but obviously means like clickorlando.com. That's where they're getting a lot of their election information, as you just pointed out. Marcos Lopez is still well ahead, like you say, with 60% precincts reporting. He beat the second and third closest candidates by about 3,000 votes. He's around 6,000 votes. So those 2 closest candidates are a former major for the sheriff's office, Wally Black, and of course the former sheriff that Lopez beat back in 2020. That's Russ Gibson, who had a 4-year term. We talked to Russ Gibson earlier today. We caught up with all of the candidates today, or at least the ones expected to be top contenders. Talked to them in person, talked to the others by phone and by email. Russ Gibson says that it was too close last time around 4 years ago, that he doesn't think the will of the people was represented. He says essentially the vote was split because of another candidate in that race. It came down to a difference of 620 votes back in 2020 between Russ Gibson and Marcos Lopez. He said he wasn't sure what to do after he lost that race, the primary race 4 years ago. Russ Gibson said he went to work in Brevard County for Sheriff Wayne Ivey there. He worked at the animal control facility, and he says that's when he got some clarity and he realized, yes, I'm meant to serve the people. Yes, I'm meant to run again against Sheriff Lopez. Just a quick note here. The other top contender here, former Major Wally Black, who was also a former deputy at the sheriff's office. All of these people running against Sheriff Lopez are former employees of the sheriff's office. He was terminated by Lopez last November after the debacle, the bad handling of that situation in a Target parking lot where 3 suspected shoplifters were shot. I should tell you, I asked the former major, is that why you're running against Sheriff Lopez? He says, absolutely not. He says, I'm here for those people who are still at the sheriff's office because somebody's got to take care of them. We will continue to wait here for Sheriff Lopez to show up. So far, no sign of him yet. A lot of people starting to build inside, waiting for the sheriff eagerly, as are we. For now, live in Osceola County, Eric Von Anken getting results. News 6.
Eric, interesting to see a former sheriff there, Russ Gibson, in 3rd place right now. We'll have to see how it shapes up. Eric Von Anken, thank you very much.
All right, turning now to Orange County, where 3 of the county's 6 commission seats are up for grabs.
All right, so the candidates in District 5 include Joy Goff-Marcial, Steve Leary, Joel Montilla, and Kelly Semrad. Right now, Kelly Semrad has the lead with 41% of the votes. And this is, it's showing early voting, but right now, more than 7,800 votes for Semrad. And I believe this one would come out to a runoff if she doesn't get to 50% of the vote plus 1 for that commission seat.
In District 3, incumbent Commissioner Maya Uribe is facing off against political newcomer Gus Martinez and Linda Stewart in this one, and it looks like Uribe has 44% of the vote. We don't know the percentage of the precincts reporting right now, but she has just over 6,000 votes in this race.
Then let's go to District 1 now. You have Nicole Wilson trying to beat out Austin Arthur and Stephen Davis. Right now, Wilson does have that 50% threshold. She's at 53%. Austin Arthur, though, maybe a tighter race than some would have thought, is at 47% of the vote. Again, it's saying early voting there up in the corner if you're looking at, I'm not sure that that's adding up at the moment, but right now you can see Nicole Wilson has a decent lead. News 6's Laverne McGee is covering these races for us. She is live in Orange County. Laverne, what are you hearing?
Well, Matt, I am in District 1. I'm here in southwest Orange County. This is the Windermere Horizon West area, a critical area because there's so much growth and development here. Behind me, you can see is where the polling station was earlier today. Lots of signs up here. People here are concerned about traffic, about overcrowded schools, but this is where the growth is happening in this community. So District 1 is a critical race. I actually spoke with the candidates earlier today, both of them feeling confident. As you said, Nicole Wilson does have over 50%, so there shouldn't be a runoff. We are, of course, waiting for those results to come in. But right now, this District 1 is certainly one that is a critical part of Orange County. It's actually a large portion. There's over 200,000 people, and it's a very wide-ranging area from all the way in Southwest all the way to Williamsburg. So a variety of voters in this area as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the results are. Again, so far what we're seeing a lot closer than some people may have thought. But again, things could change. The night is still young. Reporting live in Orange County, Laverne McGee, Getting Results, News 6.
All right, Laverne McGee, thank you so much.
All right, now to Volusia County, where one of the biggest races is for the chair of the county council. The incumbent here is Jeff Brower. He is facing 3 opponents, all with a long history in the Volusia community. Don Burnett, who has been the mayor of Port Orange for the last 8 years, Deb Denny's, a former Volusia County Council and school board member, and auto dealership owner and philanthropist Randy Dye. And it looks like the incumbent Jeff Brower, with 42% of the votes and 82% of the precincts reporting, has a pretty commanding lead over the 3 opponents there.
All right, still ahead, a lot of races to cover. Our coverage of Central Florida's school board races continues.
And we now know how many people voted by mail and voted early. We're breaking down those numbers next. You can also watch live results as they come in on our website, clickorlando.com.
All right, we want to go back to the primary for District 15. It is pitting incumbent state senator Geraldine Thompson against former state senator Randolph Bracey in what has been a really contentious race. It's really not all that close at the moment. Geraldine Thompson with 62% of the vote compared to just 38% for Randolph Bracey. Geraldine Thompson looking to keep that seat.
All right, and earlier tonight, we brought you the results of school board races in Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties.
Yeah, and we're getting some more results in from school board races all across the rest of Central Florida. So stick with us here. Let's take a look at the local school board races. John Thomas and Amber Jean Yance were both on the ballot for Brevard County's District 3. And right now, John Thomas has 56% of the vote there. In District 4, let's go to Max Madel, Keith Schachter, Matt Susan, and Avanice Taylor. They were all on the ballot. Matt Susan with a pretty big lead right now. He's got 48% of the vote there for the Brevard County School Board.
So, and the last district with races that we're taking a look at tonight, Volusia County, and their District 2 race. Cassandra Gagnier, Krista Goodrich, and Angela Kopnicki were all on the ballot in this one, and with 82% of the precincts reporting, it looks like Goodrich takes the lead.
Okay, finally, we've got Volusia's District 2. Donna Brosimer is at 43%, still a tight enough race at 82% reporting. Carl G. Persis has 40% in a pretty tight school board race there in Volusia County. There are also 3 races in Osceola County School District. Bethzeda Garcia has a big lead right now, more than 50%. She's got 55% compared to Diana Graniella's 24% for the Osceola County School Board seat. Osceola's District 3 now. Yeah, there it is, District 3. Anthony Cook has 56% of the vote right there. He has a commanding lead over Julia Tavares and Angel Lewis Coba. And we learned today that nearly 2 million ballots had been cast by mail and in early voting, all before all of this started.
Now, according to the State Division of Elections, nearly 1.3 million people voted by mail, with more Democrats choosing the option than Republicans. Meantime, GOP voters nearly doubled Democrats in early voting, more than 650,000 cast ballots ahead of Election Day. So we want to bring in our News 6 political analyst, Dr. Jim Clark. Jim, these numbers are down from previous years. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's no real driving race. There's no big Senate race, presidential race, nothing really to get people excited and motivated. Lots of small school board, local races, things like that. There just aren't the contentious races that drive people to the polls.
Not as much juice as we've seen in the past.
That's exactly right.
All right, Jim Clark, thank you so much. We'll be right back. We're just getting some results in for House District 10. It's probably the biggest Democratic stronghold in the state. Maybe the district is most of Orange County, including the cities of Orlando, Winter Park, and Bithlo. Incumbent Maxwell Frost faces 2 challengers, but he is dispatching them pretty easily here. 82% for the incumbent, and he came in as the youngest U.S. congressman in the whole House there. So Maxwell Alejandro Frost with 82% right now. He'll face a Republican challenger in the fall. Let's take a look at that. Willie Montag with the lead right now, 53% for U.S. House District 10 in the Republican side.
All right, so if you ran into any problems at your polling place, the News 6 investigators really want to hear about it. So call us at 407-521-1323, or you can drop them an email at theinvestigators@wkmg.com. Thank you so much for joining us for this primary election day.
Yeah, we'll see you tonight with more results coming up at 11 o'clock. Have yourself a great night.